You're listening to Ward and L on Canada Talks.
From an overly courteous Canadian driver to a mosquito trapped inside your car, mayhem is everywhere. So get Allstate Insurance, where agents help protect you from mayhem. Find your local agency at allstate.ca. Al,
Ward.
let's talk football and fashion.
I like both those things.
Yeah, well, here to talk to us about both those things, our buddy from Strellson, David Altow, and with him from the New York Jets, Nick Folk.
Guys, welcome to the show. David, welcome back.
Thank you very much.
Always a pleasure.
We always like to talk to you. I always like to, sometimes we agree.
We do sometimes agree. I got applause from you once.
That's right. Sometimes we high five.
That's right.
Because sometimes
yes,
you nail
high
it.
five. Yeah.
I think today you guys are going to agree a lot, because a lot about what we're talking about today is fashion when you're traveling and fashion in the spring and summertime.
I'll tell you why we're going to agree today.
Oh.
And Nick, I don't want to make you uncomfortable, but I am very famous on the show for objectifying men. And football players are some of my favorite men to objectify.
That's
okay?
fine.
So you dress them up real pretty? I'm on board. I'm on board, David.
He's very handsome when he's in our stuff. I
Right?
didn't say we dress him up real pretty.
He's very handsome when he's in our stuff. Out of it. Look at this mess.
No, out of it, he looks like shit.
So where are you from, Nick?
I'm originally from Southern California. Grew up there. I played college football at University of Arizona. Then I went to Dallas Cowboys for a couple of years.
There it
and
is.
now I'm with the New York Jets.
You picked up that Texas accent there. You got a little drawl. You got a
Everyone
little drawl.
says it. I don't hear it, but I live in Dallas now. That's home for us. So my wife and I make Dallas home.
There's certain accents that are easy to pick up. English, like London. If you go over to England,
Madonna.
live there for a month, and you'll be talking just like that. Oddly enough, not in the Southeast, not in Alabama, Georgia. You won't pick that accent up. Move out to Texas, and everybody starts talking like McConaughey.
Fargo? Come on.
Fargo.
We all pick up that accent.
Yeah, you don't even mean to.
Oh,
You're
you
just
want to
like,
come
"You
over for
betcha."
supper? Now, what's interesting is that most people do not associate athletes and fashion, with a couple of notable exceptions, Terry Crews, Sean Avery. But other than that,
Basketball, maybe, because they always got to wear those suits when they travel.
a little bit, yeah, but not on on a general level. I think people are like athletes, sweatpants.
Yeah.
How did this pairing come together?
That's interesting.
We'll be the judge of that.
Your viewers? You
Yeah.
don't have viewers, do you?
They just stare at the radio.
Yeah, that's good. It works for me. But no, we got involved. Actually, we are represented in Saks Fifth Avenue in certain stores in the States, and Saks has an affiliation with the New York Jets. So we got involved with a charity they do called Taste of the Jets a little while ago, and Allison,
I could do
please.
so
Oh,
much
please,
with that title.
Please, yes. It's all centered around food.
Sure.
And okay. It's going to be one of those shows. The glasses are off. The jacket's coming off. I'm sweating. So we Nick was part of that event, and it went extremely well. We dressed a couple of the guys who we could actually fit, and the brand was represented very well. And Nick, was a good friend of the brand and became a good friend of ours, and was up here. We were up here for the Sharp magazine launch party last night, which was amazing, and we spent some time at our store, at the Strellson store, and Nick has been wearing the stuff and looks great. So that's how we kind of got together.
And Nick, has fashion been a love of yours in your life, or is it something that you're sort of newly discovering through Strellson?
Newly discovering, not necessarily through Strellson, because when I got married,
That'll do it.
I'm in a hoodie and sweatpants every day at home because it's comfortable, and I have 3 little kids, 2.5-year-old twin boys, and a little girl who's a year on Monday.
Okay, that's too many, too young.
Yeah.
Okay. So
Space them out more.
I couldn't help that.
I think you could, actually, but go on.
Yeah, we'll get that another time.
Irish triplets.
So we got married, and things changed when we'd go out. I would, she wanted me to get dressed a little nicer. So through the evolution of who I am, I've found a little bit of what I like to wear, and that it fits me great, the Strellson stuff, and I'm just excited to be part of what they're doing.
It's really interesting. I've noticed recently, because whenever I'm out late on a weekend. Usually I'm on my way home, and it's like 11 o'clock, so the lines at the clubs are jumping, and I'm like, oh, God, thank God I don't do that anymore. But I noticed women, all the young women, dressed to the nines, and usually the young men, you're like, look at what she's wearing. Put on something nicer. And so it is interesting as men get older, and then as you get married and stuff like that, the women are like, okay, we're going to up your game a little bit.
It happens. It happens. And I now enjoy it. You know, if I need to go out to an event, we went out last night, and I enjoy putting it on and dressing up and getting ready to go out. Where before I was like, I'll put on jeans and a collared shirt, and I was ready to go.
Yeah.
But now I like putting on a suit, putting on a sports coat, and looking good.
It was my wife that told me I was trying to look younger. I was trying to dress younger, and it didn't work for me. And it was my wife that actually said, if you dress your age, that makes you look younger. And I think that's what happens with a lot of men. They get married and their wives go, you know, if you start dressing nicely, now you're going to look younger rather than trying to look young.
I sort of hate the term dress your age,
Yeah.
but what I think it is that people, when they get to a certain age, and that age is usually around 35, that it's not that they're not dressing age appropriate necessarily. It's that they're going for trends that 19-year-olds like. Because you can maintain style. We have all seen people who just give up and are like, I'm just going to wear this tracksuit everywhere, even fancy parties. But you can maintain a really hip sense of style and still have it be age appropriate. Right, David?
Yes, that's absolutely right. It's important because too many times, whether you're in a business that's more classic or conservative, or even if you're in a creative field, if you start to, the line in 17 again, where someone says to Zac Efron, "What did you do? Mug K-Fed?" Okay, that kind of thing, that happens way too much. And I'm walking down the street and I'm seeing guys wearing things that I just want to stop them and go, "Excuse me, I'm in the industry, so I'm not like trying to get fresh or anything, but really, what are you wearing?"
You know what? We're going to have to do a big old high five for the fact that you know 17 again so well that you just quoted it. Oh, my God.
And apparently you've seen Todd Shapiro on the street.
Yeah,
I did. I saw him last night. But he looked age appropriate. He did.
Last night he did.
Yeah, last night he did.
Yeah.
Okay. Thanks, Al.
No, but you know what? What's also great, though, is that men's fashion, stylish suits and blazers and jackets and everything like that, they're not stuffy anymore, right? So for too long, men thought putting on a suit, no matter what it was always a navy, a black, or a dark gray, right? And it was, this is going to make me look like my dad or whatever. This is going to make me look like an old man. And now, you've got so much variety when it comes to what men can wear, whether it's, like David, you and I both today are wearing, sports jackets and jeans. And
not only that, we're both wearing houndstooth pattern sport jackets.
Yeah.
Different colors.
Absolutely. And we're both wearing Strellson.
We are.
but what I'm wearing today is a nice looking outfit, but it's a very casual outfit. It's an unstructured blazer. It's not stiff. It's the kind of thing that you can wear. I could wear out to a nice dinner, but it's also just, running errands at the same time.
It's important because actually Nick and I were talking about that earlier, is wearing comfortable clothes. It's, you want to have, especially in spring and summer, unlined jackets, softly constructed jackets, things like that you can throw on. You don't have to really worry about. If there happens to be linen in it, if someone says, "I love linen, but I hate the fact that it wrinkles," they don't love linen. Linen is guaranteed to wrinkle. So spring and summer, that's the time you want to get into that cotton linen kind of thing. Softer jackets, casual trousers, whether it's a slim chino or even just a great jean, that type of thing, works really well. And it's all about comfort.
And you, on a previous visit, wore a suit, and we talked about this a lot, that is more, it's a cotton, it's a little bit stretchy, which I imagine would be good for athletes because muscles.
Yes.
Right? Because I'm sure there's times if you try to buy a jacket, Nick, like off the rack or something, or even a button-down shirt, you're like, my arms don't fit into these sleeves.
We were having this discussion this morning, and a lot of it is jeans and the waist. Your waist is small compared to your legs.
Right.
And so I can't get a normal size waist through my leg, and I got to go up 2 sizes and then get it hemmed even on a jean, or your suit. If you get a suit, they make the shoulders and the waist same size. So my shoulders are much broader than my waist, and so they don't really match. You got to get them tailored. And
I have that problem too.
So it's great to be working with these guys because they do tailor things to the athlete and I enjoy the deconstructed jackets because they're just easy to put on. They're light. You don't have to worry about wrinkling at all because you don't have to fold it perfectly. You can just kind of throw it in the back of the car and put it on, and it looks just as good.
Al is not a fan of the sweatsuit suit.
Well, listen,
but you periscoped my sweatsuit suit.
I did, and listen.
But I could see somebody like Nick who's traveling all the time, especially.
Sure. No, listen. Let's be honest. Largely, my issue with it is the cuff pant.
The elastic, it was elasticized.
Elastic cuffs are unacceptable. No matter what, I'm drawing a hard line.
This is going to get to fisticuffs, I can just say. Yeah. No, I understand, but you know what? On a guy like Nick, okay, or athletes in general, it is such a comfort. That was from last season, and we'll have it again. So I'm going to show you that, and hopefully you can wear that because it's such a comfortable fabric. It's a stretch fabric, but it's a suit. You can break it up and wear the jacket separately or wear the pant with a knit piece, which might be more acceptable for you if you had the pant, but just with like a jersey top or a knit sweater.
Listen, it's really hard to sell me on an elastic cuff no matter what.
Moving on.
Yeah.
But I could see that being a great, it's meant to be a great travel suit. Yeah. And for someone like you, Nick, that's, having to jump on the plane and go to the next town all the time, it's a great travel suit because and with the elastic cuffs, then you could probably have some slip-on shoes real quick getting through airport security and everything like that. You guys have to go through all the regular airport security stuff?
No, we do not. We the TSA comes to our building, we go through a quick check, jump on a bus, and we drive right to our plane and walk on the plane and get on.
Wow.
No fair.
Wow.
So, but they're chartered plane. Everyone on the plane is part of the team.
All right. Yeah.
And so we're not.
What a tough life. Chartered plane. TSA comes to us. The NFL gets everything. Everything.
No screaming babies on that flight.
No.
Oh,
no.
man.
Well, you never know. So Nick, what would be ideal for you? Say a nice night out to dinner with your wife. What would you dress up in?
What would I dress up in?
Yeah.
I'd put on a good pair of jeans. I call them dress tennis shoes.
Sure.
Some tennis shoes that are nice that I have a couple pairs at home that are.
What color are they?
Blue and with a white sole, and then I have like a tan with like a yellow sole.
Yeah, that's fair.
So it's just kind of fun to keep it kind of light. And then
a lot of companies now are making like brogues, or wingtips, but they're making them with rubber soles, so they feel more like sneakers and they look more like dress shoes.
Cole Haan, Nike owned Cole Haan, and I think they still do own a little bit of it. And so you go there, and on the bottom you see it says Nike Lunar on the bottom of some Cole Haan shoes.
Interesting.
They had it, and so something like that, and then a dress shirt with a easy blazer. If it's warm outside, I'll just keep the dress shirt on or the button-up shirt, and I'll do my hair then on a rare occasion.
And I didn't even realize because you're wearing a hat and you got your head shaved like the sides and the back. You got nice hair.
Yeah,
You got nice hair.
A little bit. I don't like it sometimes, but I put up with it.
Oh, the things we do.
Oh yeah, men have it so hard. So I got a little angry.
Do you know what I find interesting talking about sports and things like that? What I find interesting is if you look at turn of the century, or not even turn of the century, middle of the century, 1950s, 1960s and all that, people dressed up to go to the game.
Oh, yeah, they were wearing hats in the stands.
Yeah. People dressed up to go to the games.
Like the Kentucky Derby. You dress up like the nines, and females in their big hats, and they go to a race that lasts 2 minutes, a minute and a half.
Yeah, something
it's
like
all
that.
About,
right?
It's all about being there. It's all about the experience, I think, and that's we see it. Well, I see it as well at basketball games.
Yeah.
See, a lot of guys dressing up at not just the players and coaches who aren't playing that night. They're all in suits, but people in the stands. You're seeing more people kind of wear the jacket and jean thing and a really nice sweater.
Right.
And the guys almost are getting to the point where they almost look as nice as the girls, dressed wise, not
right.
sure the women have their hair done and everything. The guys aren't doing that, but definitely people are dressing up more in general.
Can we talk about fit for a minute? Because this is a thing, and I got in a fight with our boss the other day because he was wearing a button-down shirt that was a great color on him, but he clearly bought when he was like 20 pounds heavier. And I was like, it's a great color, it doesn't fit. And he goes, what do you mean? It fits fine. His sleeves are long enough. And I was like, oh my God, if you want that shirt so bad, get it tailored. I think a lot of men, when they buy off the rack, if there's part of the whatever it is, jacket, shirt, whatever, that doesn't quite fit right, they're just like, oh, well, it is what it is. But shouldn't we just be tailoring?
Yes, I completely agree. It's you should always buy your size, but if it needs a little, don't do major surgery on a shirt or a jacket or a pant. If you have to do major surgery, buy another brand that has a different size spec.
Right.
You don't want to have something that looks like it was, worked on by Dr. Frankenstein to make it fit.
Yes.
You want to have something like shirts in general. You can tailor a shirt very easily. They can be tapered. There's darts usually in the back of the shirt that can either be let out or you can do more and taper it in. But you'd want to avoid the shirt billowing out. If you're tucking it into your trouser, you don't want to have it hanging over the belt. And I know there's a person I know who recently lost a lot of weight, about 200 pounds, and fits our Strellson Slim Fit shirts beautifully. But he's uncomfortable because he's used to having more fabric in the shirt in general.
It's a hard
adjustment. Even though he's got the body for it, he doesn't,
his
in his own mind,
caught up.
he hasn't caught up there. So he's like, no, I understand the fit, but I need to have a little more fabric. The other thing is if you're wearing a slimmer fit suit or jacket and you have a shirt that's bigger underneath, then it's just uncomfortable. And you don't want to have, that's why a lot of with the slim fit trend now, slimmer and shorter garments, the shirts are getting slimmer and shorter to fit underneath the clothing. So the tailored clothing. So that's kind of how it works.
There's a lot of bad ideas left over from the 90s and the early aughts that are taking a long time for people to get used to. Pleats was it for a while, the pleated pants. And then the other thing is that people wore things too big. Yeah. That was such a thing. I like watching TV shows from the 90s, how big the suits were, how boxy everything was. And a lot of that's hard for people to get over, wearing a size a little bit larger. The other day, I was wearing something like a sweater, and somebody said, oh, it's a tight sweater. And I went, it fits. It fits. People are used to wearing such big things. It wasn't clinging to my body, but it fit me. And I think that's a weird thing. I still think a lot of men don't understand that things have to fit. They don't. They don't need to be loose.
A lot of people.
They don't need to be loose on you all the time. And they shouldn't be, right? Because that's actually not a flattering look. Even if you have a few extra pounds on you, loose clothing that just makes you look bigger. It doesn't actually. That's right. It doesn't actually flatter you. We are talking to David Altow from Strellson and Nick Folk from the New York Jets. So, Nick, what do you think is the biggest challenge for you when it comes to traveling and dressing well?
The biggest challenge is finding stuff that fits, honestly.
Yeah.
Because for guys, a lot of guys, like, we'll have people come in and they'll just make suits for guys. That's what they'll have. The Jets will bring guys into the front of the facility, and there'll be guys there just to have it professionally done for them. Because a lot of the big guys, same problem. Their shoulders are too big, their waist is too small, and then the tailoring just doesn't get done right. And so they just get a shirt to fit them, pants to fit them, the jacket to fit them just right. And so that's the biggest thing. And then once I get it on right, I have fun with it. I'm fun pocket square, a fun tie, fun socks, and I like to put a little twist on things when I'm getting dressed up, just to have a little fun.
I know, and I know one thing, David, you and I have talked about this before, is I want outerwear that's easier to travel with, right?
Yep.
And one of the hardest things is jumping on and off planes with everything, whether it's a raincoat or a top coat or whatever, you know what I mean? And Strelson's got some great waterproof top coats that don't look like raincoats, right? I've always liked that. And then you've even had some reversible and packable outerwear.
Yeah, we've done some pretty great things in our travel collection. Not only there's suits that are stretch fabric, crease resistant, water repellent fabrics with hidden zippers and things for security, but the outerwear, which is which is really key when you're traveling, because you don't want to have a big heavy piece. You want something that is light, packable. Roll it up, throw it in the overhead bin in the airport, or just put it in your case and travel with it without worrying about how it's going to look right after when you take it out. Waterproofing, the seams inside have to be heat sealed and taped. Otherwise, you can have waterproof fabric, but if the seams that are not taped, it's not a waterproof garment. So that water will find its way. It's kind of like a cobblestone street. Water will find the easiest route in and work its way, and that's what happens with seams on a garment. But the waterproof jackets, whether it's a bonded nylon or a high-grade nylon, something like that, you've got an endless look. You can have a longer coat to cover a suit or jacket. You can also use a shorter field jacket style, like the military style with the 4 pockets, that kind of thing. But that'll still go over a suit jacket. And it doesn't have to look like a dressy raincoat or trench coat. There's many variations of it.
I like the military jackets. That's really big this season.
Yeah.
I like that a lot.
I'm going to be honest, I hate trench coats.
You can be honest. That's okay.
Yeah.
But trench coats now are redone. There's modern trenches. It's not, as I like to say, it's not your father's Oldsmobile. They're slimmer. There's more detail to them. They have that trench coat feeling, but it's not an older look. It's done on a younger silhouette and a much younger attitude.
I'm going to give you the benefit of the doubt on this one until I see photos.
Okay, I'll send you photos.
Well, Nick, come back and hang out with us sometime in
I'd
studio.
love to.
David does all the time, so next time you're up, you got to come hang
I'd
with
love
us.
to.
Sweet, and good luck.
Thank you so much.
Absolutely. David, where can people find out more about Strellson?
You can go to Strellson.com. Also, our Twitter handle is StrellsonCan, C-A-N. We can come and see us at our Bloor Street store at Bloor Avenue Road at Bayview Village, and also in downtown Vancouver, which we opened in December on Alberni at Thurlow.
Awesome.
There you have it.
Stay pretty, gentlemen.
All right. Thanks for coming, guys.
Thanks for
Thank
having
you.
us.
Let's take a break, and we'll be right back. This is Channel 167 Canada Talks. You're listening to Ward and Al.
Go up, and they stay there, and they say yeah, and they stay there.
Hi there, I'm Sharon Caddy, and coming up Tuesday on What She Said, the Canine Queen, Wendy Diamond, joins us to go over all things related to our pets' spring health. That's 10 a.m. Eastern right here on Canada Talks Channel 167.